season Ready to Love hit the ATL hard, shaking up the dating game and getting real about why people aren't finding love.
I am a African.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is. We're going to be giving you guys the Ready to Love Season 2 reviews. Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you lean? If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And for those of you who are returnees, you ain't got the minerals, baby. Listen, I've got to be quiet because it's late at night as I'm recording this. Boom. Can't wait to get into this video. I wanted to make sure I came back to the truest roots, which was looking at the psychology and the body language of the people involved. That's how we fell in love with Ready to Love, and we're about to do it all over again. So make sure you tune in, make sure you focus, make sure you pay attention, rewind if you need to rewind. But let's get into Ready to Love Season 2 review, Episode 1, and let's do this, baby.
With a fresh crop of singles who are putting it all out there in the name of love. The emotions are stronger, the competition is stiffer, and the stakes are higher.
You mad? You lean? Alright, let's do it. Let's just get into the video. Alright, cool. Obviously, the first thing that was mentioned is obviously that you know, the guys are more mature this year than they were last year. I don't know how true that is, because men are often slower to mature than women. But I guess obviously with the age ranges being so much closer, I think it we'll have a better shout in terms of better matches, and I think also as well it'll be more of an equilibrium in terms of playing field, especially with the rules changing and making it so that both men and women are going to get to choose in terms of who will be going out. Do you get me? So I think it's going to be a very interesting game. I think it's going to be a very interesting show on the format, and it's going to be very interesting in the way that people play it, because evidently what this game is going to do is play to the strengths of those who are the most appeasing to several people within the group. So you've got somehow play this. I mean, this is life, but with a twist in the sense of everybody can see what you're doing. You know, this is a part of what you. This is the game that you play in terms of dating, where you don't make yourself fully available for every individual of the opposite sex. You play the game nicely, and so we're gonna have to see people play the game in a different way. It's gonna get mad, baby. And then obviously, I think for me as well, just watching the girls as well, the girls are looking very, very curvy, very, very lovely, very, very voluptuous, and as well, they're very, very smart. I think I want to make sure that's a very, very important part that I bring into this, that the women especially are not just physically attractive. And let me tell you something, you know, I love a back off can get me twisted, cuz listen, my favorite right now, yeah, I'll come on to that in a second, but you know, just to see that the women are not just a physical body, but they're actually smart. They got their own businesses. They're running their own things. They're top of their environment and their you know, the business that they are dwelling in as well. So we're seeing women with a lot of smart, a lot of brains and a lot of intelligence, which we saw from last year too. Don't get it twisted. It's just good to see that obviously we've got the body and we've got the mind as well. One thing I would say is that obviously just watching the body language of individual females, there's a lot of deep stories, which is normal because it's females. Deep stories in terms of what they've dealt with men, and I think that we're gonna have an interesting time when it gets towards the end in terms of people actually being real about their situation and what they face and the fears and the insecurities that they face. Boom. My third point on this, before we get into the actual characters, is that I want you guys to pay attention when I break down the behaviors. Hopefully these guys on YouTube do not block this video. If they do, you're going to have to watch somewhere else. But one thing I want to say is that obviously there's a lot of hand movements, as I'm doing right now. Hand gestures can mean a whole different things, but a lot of the time when it's hand gestures, it's all about passion, it's about being genuine, about being honest. One of the best things about gesticulation is that you are trying to articulate your point to get the other person on the other end to understand. Now what you're going to see is when I point this out on every individual character, everybody does it as a human being. They do hand signals, but people do it more than others. Now these can mean different things for different people depending on body position and stuff like that, and the way they present themselves and what story they're running with. But just know that every hand signal, the way their hands move, is so critical in terms of who they are and what they're trying to portray, that you need to pay attention. So when I put the clips in there, listen. follow the thing, because that's what we're gonna do, bloody. You're mad, yeah? Scooda, you understand?
With a look at a few of our most eligible bachelors, check out these handsome fellas from the ATL.
Hey, my name is London, age 41, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia. My dad played for the Baltimore Colts. I played defensive end in college, and I played linebacker professionally. Kind of chased my dream for a while until I realized it was time to hang up the cleats. So that's when I started in corporate America. I'm an area sales manager for the Mid-South, so I oversee Atlanta, Nashville, as well as Alabama. I packed up my house in Houston 6 months ago. So when I came to Atlanta, I got
no chasing thing. Alright, cool. So it's not chasing, it's no chaser in it. My bad. You know the UK lingo don't do the things like that. We don't do them things there. Alright, cool. Alright, let's get into the video. Let's go. Number one, so we've got London, 41. I love the fact that he's got good energy, he's got you know, a good vibe about him, you know, good smile as well. Physically, obviously very prominent as well. He's not a small guy, he's quite a big guy. Broad shoulders, women like that because it shows again that protectiveness. It shows again that he can look after you in that sense. So, you know, physically he's appeasing to the eye, do you know what I'm saying? You know, he reminds me though, I did say that he reminds me a little bit of Mike from last season, just without that pizzazz, without that vavavoom, without that little bit of sections, without that little bit of edge, and without that little bit of, I would say, just that little je ne sais quoi that Mike had. Because Mike had a je ne sais quoi which was just different from last season. If you didn't watch last season, go watch my reviews. Mike had this little, you know what, he was good looking, but he can articulate himself well. He handled himself well. You know, he could play the piano. The man just came out with different skills that made him very, very, very attractive. You understand? But I feel like London's got some great qualities in terms of just the way that he holds himself. So this is not a discount. It's just me saying that he reminds me of Mike. And obviously, like I said, I like London's, the fact that he dresses smooth. He's got a calm voice as well, which is always good. You know what I'm saying? Calm voice is always good. And he looks like somebody who's always up for a laugh and a bit of a banter. And I think that's across the whole board. Most people in this particular series look like they're up for a bit of a laugh, a bit of banter, and can handle themselves. So that's a good thing. What I didn't like, something about the beard, man. It just looks a bit, I don't know, the beard looked a bit like it's a man weave. I don't know if you know, like he's laid it on, like it was felt tipped. I don't know. It just looked too smooth to be a proper beard. I don't know. That's my only critique. You know, nothing too heavy for London. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was the only kind of thing I bought for him. Bad. Oh come on, the last people I'll do it. Darren. So for me, Darren, there was a lot of body language that he was doing. So he was gesticulating throughout the whole process, and I think he mentioned he's a Capricorn as well. But he was gesticulating for the whole thing. So the reason why he does that is because he's quite expressive, yeah. And I believe he can be quite open and quite honest, right? But a lot of times I believe he wears his emotions on his sleeve, yeah. And he's got a bit of a feminine energy that comes into him as well. Not gay, just a feminine energy. Don't get the two twisted. They're two different things. You understand? But he's got a little bit of a feminine energy that comes in. Has this kind of soft side to him as well, which normally comes in as well. So I was watching that as he was talking, and just watching the hand language as well. So he's quite expressive type of person. So you're gonna see him expressing his emotions quite a bit, I think. Throughout the show as well, if he gets to stay in there long enough. One thing I didn't like about him is obviously a lot of the naked body pictures, bro. Listen, don't get twisted. If you go through my Instagram, you're gonna see me half naked too. Don't get it twisted. But I'm not on the show, rude boy. So, but obviously, if they putting those pictures on for you on the show, it reminded me a bit of Aaron last year, where he was showing his body at the first step, bruv. Like he was using his body as an advantage point over these women. Now, the age gap is slightly different than from last year, so I don't think the virality of your youth can really pull you through the game at this stage. I feel like the women that are on here and the men that are on here, because the age gaps are closer, your youth doesn't really play into you that much, because there are guys who are older, there were guys who are more mature and who actually got things going for them. So not just a body, but they got everything that's running alongside that as well. So we might see Darren struggle a little bit, but then again, if you see the cutscenes, look like he was doing okay. Do you know what I'm saying? But obviously, like I said, because there's other girls who are around his age group as well, he should be fine in the short term. But I don't know about the long term. What was interesting, obviously, he just said, obviously, he mentioned about the fact, obviously, that, you know what, he's looking for a girl that, you know, that doesn't need him, he doesn't need her, but they need it. But you know what, like they get along in a sense, and I think that's good as well, because that's what's showing, obviously, like, you know, that independence that you're looking for. And I think when you get to a certain age, what you don't want is a clingy person. What you want to be able to do, well, unless you're someone else in the show and you know who I'm talking about, unless you want to be, and that's Jimmy wants everybody to be, Jimmy wants his girl to be clingy, but unless you, obviously, when you get to a certain age and you've got your business run, you've got your things that you want to do, you want to have a little bit of space, you want to be able to do what you want to do and still be able to love somebody. Do you get what I'm saying? So the person at the age that they're at, I'm guessing people want to have their space respected. Like, I need me time, you understand? And there's nothing wrong with that, because as you get older, you know, you become more aware of yourself and what you actually need, and you're not just going with the flow. So I like that about him. You know what I'm saying? I like that about him. Moving on to...
Let's just be clear about that. I've had 3 relationships. My last one was 2 years. The one before that was 10. Great relationship. I wasn't ready. That's just the honest truth.
Chica, 42, the barber. My first question was, 10-year relationship, you didn't marry this girl. What the frick is going on? Now, I know he said that obviously he learned from his mistakes. What mistakes? I want to know. What mistakes did you make, Chica? Because at this rate, 10 years you gave somebody, or you wasted, because you said you wasn't ready for a relationship. If you weren't ready, why the blood the hell did you get into a relationship? 10 years, cuz. That's wasted. For me, that's wasted time, boy. Like, that's experience, but bro, that's 10 years of your life gone to somebody who you weren't ready for, and you know that you weren't ready. So if you know you weren't ready, why did you waste time staying in that relationship for 10 years? You've come to waste my time, your time, everybody's time. Do you know what I'm saying? 10 years is a long time, you know. Very long time. His lookalike, I put here for lookalike. For me, he looks a bit like Bruce Banner. Is it Bruce? Why did I put Bruce Banner? David Banner, man. You know David Banner, the hip hop artist. Yeah, he reminds me a little bit of David Banner. So when I saw him, I was like, alright, cool. What I do love about him though is that he's obviously honest and he seems like he's down to earth. And he keeps it just 100. Yeah, I love the fact that he explained that, you know what, we should be in a place where we're able to be very honest with each other and to say, look, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And I think a lot of people in relationships don't often like to be very honest. Listen, in this particular day and age, you need to be upfront and quick. Why? Because social media is there, and the amount of options that people have these days, we ain't got time for stupidness. Either you want it, you don't want it. And when you get into a relationship, you have so much choice now. That you need to actually narrow it down, and the way you narrow it down is by being very brutally honest with yourself and saying, this is my preferences, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, and actually communicating that as well. Men need to get better at that, and I think he mentioned that he needs to be more assertive in his relationships, because obviously the last ones he wasn't. Yeah, but that just comes through communication. You need to be communicating, you need to be expressing yourself, you need to be able to tell the person, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, because nobody's a mind reader. I've always said this, nobody's going to mind read what you're doing in a relationship. Either you want it or you don't want it. Like, do you know what I'm saying? But 10 years, we have to check that. Yeah, well, 10 years, that's what I didn't like. It's obviously the fact that it's 10 years. Like, I don't get why you're in a relationship for 10 years. What is that about? I'm hoping we're going to find out later on in the series as well. So we had, and obviously I noticed something about his body language as well. He's not very expressive with his hands. And at one point, I think he had his hand like underneath his armpit and then was expressing with one hand. So for me, that almost looked like, I don't know, it felt like there's like dishonesty there, or there's a lack of genuinity, in the sense that you keep in one hand here and then you gesticulate with the other hand, and it's almost like you're playing your cards close. You don't want no one to get in. And he's not the only one, because I think it was Aisha did the exact same thing, where her hand wasn't underneath her armpit, but her hand was in her inner thigh. And for me, that shows that obviously, again, it's a case of, I can only let people in so much. I'm not going to be open to trusting anybody. You have to come and earn this trust. That's why one hand is in here like this, and my other hand is moving, in the sense of, I can express myself, but I will block and make sure that, you know what, not just anybody's coming to my space. Do you know what I'm saying? But again, I could be wrong. There was Alexis.
So I'm no bullshit policy with me. I'm an alpha female. I need you to be a leader. If I'm able to.
Obviously, Alexis was in a 6-year relationship. Now Alexis is my villain of the show. She's annoying. I'm not gonna lie to you, bruv. Like, she's like my Aaron of the show, in a sense of the energy she's bringing towards me. Yeah, I don't like it. That's my straight thing. I don't like it. Yeah, like her first induction, kind of talking about that, she hasn't found a guy that she can be submissive to, which is no. I understand that. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just the venom and the tone that she was using in terms of expressing the fact that she hasn't found someone to submit to, and I'm like, because she's saying basically no man's really been worthy at the moment, which obviously, understandably, yes, there may not be, but it's just the way she said it. It's almost like there's an arrogance there, and I don't like them things. You understand? And for me, it's like I can see rudeness is going to be one of her traits in terms of actually dealing with somebody, and for me, I don't like that. She her look wise, in terms of look, she looks like Angela, and it looks like Angel from last year, but she's got far more bite than Angel. Which will probably take her far in the show because we want entertainment, don't get twisted. And she's pretty, don't get twisted. And she's feisty, don't get twisted. Somebody wants to tame it, do you know what I mean? Because men love competition. But she loves competition. And this is the problem in terms of a long-term relationship. Because both parties wanting competition needs to be able to complement each other. If it's unbalanced, there's going to be a problem. I feel like the last 6 years, which one she's been single, is because she's got an unbalanced way of dealing with it.
They don't really know how to receive that, but just do your thing. Be a guy, be a leader, and let me be feminine. Let me be submissive. But I have not found a lot of guys that I'm comfortable with being submissive. My mom's always
like, be competitive. But you know what? Men have got an ego and a pride. When they feel like a woman is trying to compete with them, they don't like it. Compete to complement. That's what I'm saying. So still be competitive, but compliment. Don't compete to override. When you compete to override, that's when you've got a problem. Because you're saying you want a man to lead, but if you're trying to compete and be in the leadership role as well, I'm having to force you out the way, it's going to be an issue. Yeah, and men don't like taking the hard road, they like taking the easy road. So you have to understand, that's why a girl who's more quiet and less abrasive is often viewed as somebody who people want. It's because it's a road easily taken. Do you know what I'm saying? And she mentioned about there being an alpha female comment. This is the Dr. Alexis situation all over again. Like, you're gonna blow it, fam. This is the Shantae situation from last season. You're gonna blow it, fam. Listen, it's nice that you can defend yourself. It's nice that you can tell somebody what it is. But we want some humility. And we also want you to be chill. And we also want a woman to be meek-mouthed. This is what men often want. They want meek-mouthed. Doesn't mean you don't have to be smart. Doesn't mean you don't have to run a business. Doesn't mean that you can't be top of your game. Doesn't mean that you can't open your mouth. It's just that we want an energy of being able to be present, but not having to override, but also being at times knowing when to assert yourself and tell me what time it is. Because sometimes as a man, we all know that we're going a bit mad, and we need you to be able to tell us what time we're going mad. Do you understand? But it's not every second that you're telling me that you're going mad because you're an alpha female. No, that won't work. And that's why I said for him, Alexis and I can't remember his name. The one that looks like KD and Kevin Hart and Morris Chestnut all in one.
And that I like, she was strong, independent, but she wanted to wear the pants. And my household where I grew up in, we ain't doing that. I mean, I consider you on things, but I take the lead. And we really had a struggle with that. So, like the last 3 years of the...
He's never going to have that, yeah? Because he's already said that, you know what, for him, the leadership thing is very, very important. I don't see her giving up the reins to KD like that, because KD doesn't look like the type that is assertive on that level. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. What was interesting was also her body language was very key, because she kept her hands in between her thighs, and then expressed only when she wanted to talk about the fact that a man, she's an alpha female, and that the man can bend over or whatever. She made that comment, which was just ludicrous. That's when her hands became free. So up until that point, what she was exercising was control and restraint, and what she was showing was her dominance. Yeah, that she didn't have to move too much, she didn't have to say too much. What she was trying to assert was a dominance in her situation, in the role that she was in the place that she's in. So that shows her control. That she's not going to move too much. She's just here, when I say it, it gets done. And also, it's part of a personality trait as well. Some people are very, we call them cholerics. They are good leaders, but they want things done now. And that would kind of lend into her in the sense of that she, puts her hands into her thigh, doesn't move until she's explaining the fact that the men can bend over. That means also that's her being passionate and honest about what she was saying. She weren't lying. So maybe not the bending over necessarily, but in terms of the fact that she leads. So though she said, that's what I said to you. Though she's saying that she wants to lead, body language lets me know that you're not gonna let. It's gonna take a special guy to lead you, which I think maybe potentially might be Brent. Maybe potentially be Brent. I don't see anyone else being able to lead her like that. I don't think Michael's got the tenacity for that. But I think Brent's probably the only one that can do it.